So part two, coming to Colombia, and there's so many things that I'm grateful here. The single thing that impacted me the most was working with and is working with. I'll be from my second retreat this year in a week from tonight. Has been working with ayahuasca, or as we call it here in Colombia, Yahe, Y-A-G-E. Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, all the ayahuasca is a little different. 99% of my ceremonies have been in Colombia, right outside of Medellin, about an hour outside of Medellin or so. Once in Putumayo and once in Brazil. Putumayo is a part of Colombia, in the Amazons. And man, out of all my decisions in my life, I guess I've never said this or thought this through. Out of all the decisions in my life, and there's about half a dozen really important ones: moving to Colombia, breakups, asking women out, not asking women out, deciding to search for my purpose and figure out, why God, the universe, put me here. Drinking ayahuasca was and is so impactful and just, so precious. I don't know if I just wasn't connected to my heart when I moved here, or it was just kind of what you absorb from Western culture. As much as I love America in many ways, even more so now, unless you're really dialed in, man, it's really not a place for the human spirit to thrive, or it's very challenging. It's not a dig or not a judgment of America. I was watching a John Cena video from 2015, and it was like, "We are America, we are united." And I was like, yeah, that's what I remember. And now I'm coming back, I'm like, yeah, a lot of shit is different. Like 2015 to what will be 2026. Yeah. And just in Western culture, we are oftentimes just rewarded for our results or our head. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you can see more of my content about masculine, feminine energy. It's not a culture oftentimes where the heart is celebrated. Do they have like a festival with the heart is celebrated in Colombia? No. But the connection to family, to friends, to how someone talks to you in a taxi, to how it's just contagious, man. Like you're gonna get infected by an empowering love cariño virus. Like you're just gonna be like, gosh, what happened in Colombia? I feel fucking great. But yeah, getting back to my point, there's a lot I have to share, a lot on my heart. Working with ayahuasca, it just cracked me open. I wanted to share this one particular story, and I don't know how many ayahuasca ceremonies I'd done at this point. I was new enough, but I was eager. It was so different than any type of personal development experience I had. I did 2 nights, and I have an ayahuasca documentary. I got to post it up here. It was on another page, and I'm just like sitting like this, scratching my head with my shirt off. And I take this group picture. I'm like, what just happened? And probably 6 months, 8 months after that, I remember one distinct ceremony. Very simple, very profound. And I looked in the mirror, and we'll back up a second. Like, I knew I was a good dude, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm a good person. I do the right thing, for the most part. I've made some mistakes, or I've had some learning experience. I've fucked some things up, whatever. But I knew that in my mind. Man, I looked in this mirror, and it was like the first fucking time I ever saw myself. I just sat and I'm looking at that mirror. It's not a mirror from a circus. I'm just looking at it like there was a knowingness inside. Call it my heart, call it my soul, call it both. Call it God with threw a lightning bolt of clarity into my ass. I don't know. But I saw myself. And I'll never forget that moment for as long as I live. And that was probably, 8 years ago. And I just saw myself. And even if it was just a spark that I was able to hold in my heart, it wasn't the same after that moment. And that was one of many ayahuasca ceremonies. Was that the pinnacle? No, it's one. And it's a pretty consistent theme. Like it's gonna get you. Like if you go to ayahuasca, she's gonna make you love yourself, even if you've judged yourself, hated yourself, looked at everything that's wrong, just focused on success. Like I heard it said recently, and this was kind of a new way of saying it for me. It's like ayahuasca is never telling you what to do. Again, there's caveats, set and setting, going to a great center, or a phenomenal center, and a phenomenal shaman and facilitators. For me, that place is La Ceiba in Hiradota, where I've been going. 80-90% of my ceremonies have been there for the last 8+ years. When you're at a phenomenal place, a phenomenal center, not a good one, a phenomenal one, a pure one, which is very rare in today's ayahuasca, unfortunately. That's another video. I would like to believe all ayahuasca does this. I can't say, but I can speak to a pure center of the highest integrity. The medicine, ayahuasca reads the intelligence, the wisdom that's in your heart. This is not a coach that's giving you his opinion on what you should do with your life, or a therapist, or a seminar, or a book, or a mastermind, or even me talking to you on a YouTube video, and I'm not telling you what to do. Ayahuasca radically changed my life. Will I stop working with the medicine at some point? Man, I don't know. I don't think so. Have I taken times where I've taken 6 months off, 8 months off? My last retreat was in July. I knew I needed, it was a very gentle call, but I was like, yeah, it's time to take a bit more time to integrate and embody some stuff. It was a big one for me. It was probably the biggest retreat I've had in 8+ years. As men, we hear, and some of us know, there's male initiations, which still exist in some parts of the world. They've existed all around the world for a long time until recently. You can go to a male initiation, you can pay, I don't know what they cost, 10 grand, 20 grand to have some other dude beat the shit out of you. That is the thing. And for some people, I think that could serve. However, being initiated as a man in modern day culture is really a choice of challenge. To choose something difficult and just do it. Not to be perfect, do your best. All right, you committed to this workout plan. All right, you added it up at the end of the month or the 3 months, 92%. Infinitely better than what you've done in the past. Not perfect. You challenged yourself. And ayahuasca has been many initiations into life for me. It's been seeing myself for the magic that I am. And that's not unique to me. The magic that you are, the truth of who you are, the depth, the wisdom, the whisper of your heart. Do you need ayahuasca? No. However, it's an incredible, incredible tool. And of all the medicines I've worked with, I have 3 that are like at the top. I don't know if any of them will quite beat ayahuasca, just because it's got a special place in my heart, and it always will. And the other 2 are incredible as well. Bufo and the Egyptian elixir. Seeing that spark of really who I am, it's one thing. Doing 40 ceremonies, and one day the ayahuasca gently helping me remember that I was sexually abused as a kid by a Catholic priest the first couple weeks of kindergarten, from what I remember. I blocked that out for 30 some years. And it took me 2.5 years with gentle help, very gentle. Sometimes with a good push, but ultimately gentle and very intelligent. Just knowing just how to talk to me. You know, I was in so much pain and so stubborn. Overcoming that, my initial ayahuasca was overcoming my breakup with my first Colombian girlfriend. It had been 6 months. I'm living in Medellin. We broke up in Bogota. I'm fucking devastated. I feel terrible. I don't know if I did the right thing. Another one, these are just random, by the way. I do not have a script if you can't tell. My deepest relationship, which started more than 2 years ago, and that ended last year. And man, that was hard. That was super difficult. The most difficult, heart-shattering experience I've ever had. And transmuting that, understanding that, and healing that through the medicine, I would not have been able to be the same person if I didn't have for that specific instance. Seeing what I'm supposed to do with my life and being afraid of it, not wanting to pursue it, just like making this video, just like doing talks. Even some of my jokes that I've come up with have kind of been extracted from my heart and help with the ayahuasca. You know, seeing my purpose clear enough, even though I didn't have all the steps quite there, or so I thought that's how it worked back then. And it's taught me to fall in love with me, man. You know, if you're a guy, I'll make a second one of these.